Hi everybody, welcome to another video. So today I wanted to announce a little video series that I'm going to start doing. It's going to be kind of my niche, my theme of my channel. I'm going to start to head in this type of direction here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my show on the road. I'm going to start traveling from island to island all around the Philippines, and I'm going to start reviewing living in different cities. Now I may spend a month in a city, I may spend a few days, I may spend a few weeks. It just depends on the city and how I find the accommodations. Because I have to teach English, I still do that as my main bread and butter. I don't really make a whole lot from YouTube. I make just a little bit. I would love to do this full time, but I'm just not there yet. So I've lived in 3 different cities here in the Philippines. I've lived in Cebu for a few years. I've lived in Davao on and off for around 4 or 5 months. And I was in Angeles living on the outskirts for a few months. And that was really enough for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review these first 3 cities that I've been to. And then in 2 weeks, I'm going to start popping around different cities around Mindanao. Probably around 5 or 6 different cities, and I'm going to review them. And the way I'm going to review different cities throughout the Philippines is I'm going to break it into 5 categories. Number 1, how safe is the city? Do I feel safe enough to walk around? Can I, walk around and get barbecue late at night? Things like that. Am I okay to just walk around and walk from my place, my apartment or condo, to the mall? Number 2 is cost of living. What is the cost of living? Is it going to be the same cost of living or cheaper than Davao, Cebu, Manila? So I'm just going to kind of try to maintain the same type of lifestyle that I'm living, and I have lived in Cebu and Davao and Angeles, and I'll kind of compare it. And number 3, what kind of things are there to do? Is there a lot of nature nearby, waterfalls? Are there beaches? Are there places to go? I consider a mall a thing to do. You need to kind of have a major mall in the Philippines. If you just have these little small malls, you're going to get really bored quickly. Unless you're by the ocean and you really love the ocean and you're a diver and things like that. Number 4 is the infrastructure. For me, because I do work online and I do the vlogging, I need to have solid internet. I prefer to stay in like a type of a condo or an apartment that's got some security. That's just me. A lot of guys come out to the Philippines and they're perfectly fine and they feel safe living just in renting out a house. But for me, I like a little bit of added security. And number 5 is the friendliness of the local people. Are they easy to talk to? Are they warm and hospitable towards foreigners? Because there are some cities that are kind of overrun by foreigners, and I don't feel they are as foreigner friendly as other cities might be. Now, granted, this is the Philippines, and compared to the West, it's night and day. I mean, Filipinos are known for their hospitality. They're extremely friendly, always have a smile on their face, and that's one of the things that I love here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the first city, and that is the city that I lived in for over 2 years, and I worked there, and that is Cebu. So let's go ahead and just kind of go down the different categories, starting with category number 1. So category number 1 is safety. Now, when I'm talking about Cebu, I'm talking in particular Cebu City, because Cebu itself is a rather large island with just tons of cities, obviously. So starting with Cebu City, safety, I find Cebu City pretty safe, to be honest. The places that I would recommend living in if I was in Cebu City, which I was, but I would stay in Cebu Business Park, which is a safe little area, which is near Ayala Mall. And it's got a lot of condos there, and it's fairly safe to walk around at night. The second area I would recommend would be in IT Park, and IT Park also has condos within IT Park, and IT Park is also very safe. Now, outside of that, are there areas in Cebu City that could be dangerous? Yeah, for sure. Downtown Cebu, like Cologne District and Carbon Market, they are known for pickpockets and people being held up in jeepneys and things like that. Usually those things happen at nighttime. They don't really happen during the day. Over the last few years, I have noticed people getting shot and killed, and a lot of these are with robberies and stuff. Now, most of those happen outside of Cebu Business Park and IT Park. Again, a lot of it is common sense. Don't walk around late at night in neighborhoods that are outside of Cebu Business Park or IT Park, and I think you're more than fine. And I always recommend staying in a condo just for that extra security with the security guards, and they really scrutinize who's coming in and who's going. Like I said, a lot of people like to live out in the province, and I'm certainly going to review different cities for that. Okay, number 2, cost of living. Well, Cebu City's probably higher in cost of living because the condos, and there are a ton of condos, and there are a lot of nice condos, and because of that, it attracts lots of foreigners. And a lot of foreigners also come to Cebu City to study English, a lot of Koreans. And because of that, that does drive up the cost of living. Eating out, grocery stores, condos, all that stuff is up in price because of that. Because whenever you have a large influx of foreigners, then of course the prices are going to go up. So number 3, things to do. Well, Cebu City has a lot of things to do. I mean, there's a lot of malls, and there are a lot of different activities that you can do. You can go outside of the city and go to the top of the mountain there to eat at some nice restaurants. There's 81 or 82 different waterfalls throughout the island of Cebu. You've got beaches. Now, a lot of this stuff does take a little bit to get to. That's one of the downfalls. You have to travel outside of Cebu City a few hours before you're getting to beaches and before you're getting over to waterfalls. But with that being said, there are a lot of great places, a lot of islands right outside of Cebu, a lot of small little islands like Camotes, and then there's some bigger ones like Bohol. And so there's a lot of great places to go visit. Infrastructure, because you have the high-end condos and you got the enclave of like Cebu Business Park, and you have IT Park, you can get fiber internet, and you can get a lot of Western amenities. And because of that, and a lot of these condos do have backup generators, which is nice. So because of that, the infrastructure is quite good in Cebu City if you stay in one of those areas. Friendliness of the people. Again, we're talking about the Philippines, so generally speaking, I mean, wherever you go in the Philippines, the people are great. But in Cebu City, because there are so many foreigners, then the friendliness is going to go down a level or two, in my opinion. From my experience from traveling around, I've noticed that a lot of the province places and a lot of the smaller cities are much friendlier. The people are much more open to talk and much more approachable. So overall, friendliness is still high, but it's not as high as obviously some of the smaller cities and provinces and some of the other cities. So overall, for me, if I'm rating this on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give Cebu City about a 3.5. It rates pretty high as far as things to do, as far as infrastructure, but the friendliness, the cost of living, and safety take it down a notch for me. And so overall, 3.5. Now, it's still a fantastic city and a great place for a lot of people to live, and a lot of people will love it. For me, this is just my personal opinion, but I give it an overall 3.5. Okay? Now, guys, if there are cities that you want to have reviewed, please comment down below. Let me know what cities those are. Again, right now I'm in Mindanao, and I'll be traveling around Mindanao. So if you want something done in the near future, please comment down below for a place in Mindanao. And next I will hop over to the next island and kind of continue. But for now, I'm in Mindanao, and so I'll be reviewing a lot of different cities here, and then I'll jump over to another island. So thanks again for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification to stay up to date with the latest content. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.